Hey guys, what's up? This is Pansar Dragon, and today we'll be doing a top 5 best junglers for solo queue. In this patch, there have been some interesting changes to the jungle, like the smite change, the small warrior nerf, and a decent amount of other things, and the uprising of Skirmisher's Saber is also interesting too. Also, in this video, we'll be doing some honorable mentions, since I do feel like you guys want more than 5 champions to play. And with all that being said, let's get started.
Go select.
Alright, so at number 5 we do have Fiddlesticks. So in the early game, he does have great sustain in the jungle with his Drain. His ganks are pretty good even without the ultimate. He still has his Fear, and if he gets mobility boots, well, his ganks are really easy to do since all you have to do is press Q and start draining away, and I guess throw your E too. But his biggest strength is team fighting, because basically if the enemy forgets that there is a Fiddlesticks on the enemy team, then they are prone to going too deep and get cleaned up by Fiddlesticks' ultimate. He's honestly not the most popular champion you will see, but trust me, one good Fiddle ultimate will win you the game, since basically if he does get onto those carries, he can kill them with his combo. But if the enemy has disengaged like Janna, then of course he kinda gets countered pretty hard. Or if the enemy always has vision of you. Other than that, he's a pretty good champion. Alright, so next up at number 4 is Nidalee. Nidalee right now is probably a really great champion, especially if you're really good at her. Her clear speed is insanely good once she gets some AP and level 6. Her snowball potential is really great since you have a lot of damage in your kit. And honestly, you've probably seen those Nidalees who basically carried your game by throwing spears and killing people. Those are the great Nidalee players, but the thing about Nidalee is that she's incredibly reliant on hitting her spears and getting ahead with kills or farming up a lot. Because if she does get behind in the jungle and, maybe dies a bit, has a negative KDA, she doesn't offer that much utility except for her heals, but if she doesn't have any AP, then her spears won't be doing a lot of damage, so her poke is basically useless. Although I would say if you're very confident on hitting your spears, you feel like you're a great Nidalee player, and you can carry the game just by playing her, then go for it. But if you aren't, then she's probably not the jungler for you. Next up at number 3 is going to be Sejuani. And she is honestly a very consistent champion when you are behind or ahead just because of how much CC she has. And she also has great base damage, so all you need is levels to do some damage. And if she does get ahead, well, she can go magic penetration if she wants to do more of a burst damage in teamfights. Or of course build more health to be more tankier, and she does scale with health with her W, so she does get more tankier and does more damage. Her initiation is also pretty good since she can stun a lot of people, and right after have a follow up slow with her E. And honestly, a champion that can snowball pretty good or still be useful when behind is a really good trait to have for solo queue. Next up at number 2 is going to be Rek'Sai. So she has really good clears after level 6 and gets a few points into her Q, and of course having the mobility from her ultimate and her tunnels does give her faster clear times. Her ganks are also pretty good since she does have a gap closer and she can knock out people for 1 second, and has pretty decent damage. Now, a good thing about her is that if she does get a little behind, she can start farming up her jungle and catch up in levels, and of course makes a pretty good tank because of her passive, which does give her a lot of health regen. So since she does have that really good sustain, all she really needs to do is build resists, and she'll be a tanky threat to deal with. Also, she does make a great peeler with her W, since it does knock up everyone for 1 second around her. So say that Nasty, Riven, or Aurelia tries to dive onto your team, you knock them up for 1 second, your team kites them, and they'll probably die right after. So it's really hard to get past her, as she does have the CC, decent damage, and is fairly tanky. Even though her base damages did get nerfed, she still actually does quite a bit of damage with her Q and E, and also having free 20 to 60% attack speed is pretty good for just damaging someone, and of course it helps that her Q does come up every 4 seconds. And yeah, she is a very good jungler right now, and of course she can use a Skirmisher's Saber, which is an uprising item in the meta right now. And at number 1 we do have Vi. So honestly, I feel like Rek'Sai and Vi are very equal in terms of solo queue. I'm in fact more confident in my Rek'Sai than Vi, but I feel like a lot of people would prefer to play Vi, as she does have the potential to carry games harder than Rek'Sai. So her ganks are very strong. Once she gets to level 6, it's basically a free kill, and when the mid game does come, she can dive into enemy carries and kill them, especially if she has some follow up. And she's just great for locking down hyper carries like Jinx, Kog'Maw, Xerath, all these safe backline AD carries or mages. And yeah, she's just basically an anti-carry. Her base damage is decently strong, so she does make a pretty good bruiser. And if she is getting a lead and snowballing, she can build Triforce to carry her team. She's also fairly tanky because of her passive, and she has pretty good dueling if she lands that Q onto the enemy. And with Draven being out of the way, I do feel like Vi is a really good replacement for him at number 1, or Rek'Sai. I personally feel like Rek'Sai is my number 1 champion to go to, just because she's more consistent as she doesn't have any skill shots, except her burrowed Q, but that's not that crazy. While Vi does have her Q, which can sometimes miss but not often since it does have a big hitbox. Next up we'll be mentioning some honorable mentions, and the first one is Lee Sin. Basically, if you're a good Lee Sin player, then play him. Otherwise, don't, because you have to know what kind of combos to do in certain situations and how to use your skills. Next up is going to be Rengar. So basically with him, he's very snowball reliant, and building all AD to one-shot people is the way to go. If you're playing him tank Rengar, then you should probably be playing someone else with more utility. But if you have the knowledge of getting kills with this guy and not dying, then he is of course a really strong jungler. Next up is Pantheon. This guy would probably be a number 6 if I were to put him in a top 10 tier list. Like, nothing really happened to him, I just feel like there are more stronger junglers than him at the moment. Next up is Nunu. I heard he was going to be good in this patch, but I don't have any reasoning behind it. I just heard. So at this point, it's all kind of speculation. Hey guys, so thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did enjoy this video, check out some other tier lists right up there. There's going to be a 80 carry tier list for patch 5.4 along with mid laners, but there won't be a support or top laners. Instead, there's going to be an annotation for supports for patch 5.2, as it's relatively the same to this patch. In my opinion, like, all the champions are, you know, basically the same. And yeah, so do check out those tier lists right up there. If you guys did enjoy my insight and what I think is the best, be sure to subscribe right over there. It's free, it's easy, and it's one click away. So again, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.